Hello, this is a video that will discuss the Highball Run8.com tool for the Barstow Yard information board. So with that said, let's get ready and go and do it. First problem that you're going to be facing is, where do I go to find this spreadsheet that we're going to talk about? You want to log in to the highballrun8.com website. If you're not already a member, you can register. If you are a member, it's going to take you to that portion, give you the server information, and down here below the server information for the West Coast server is the Barstow Information Board link. Go ahead and click on that, and that will take you directly to the Barstow Yard Information Board. This is a tool, gentlemen, and it should be used as such. There's a great deal of information that is being presented here. The learning curve for Run8 is rather steep, as most of you already know. For those of you that are experienced, that learning curve is pretty much flattened out. For those of you just joining us in the Run8 community, this learning curve is still steep. A lot of research you have to go out and collect to learn how to operate the yards within Run8 as well as the trains. This spreadsheet brings a lot of that data into one place, and it flattens out the learning curve to a great extent. So with that said, let's go ahead and get involved with this demonstration. I'm going to point out there are 4 areas on the spreadsheet we're going to talk about. This is the first area. It's in the upper quadrant of the spreadsheet. It has 5 cells that are tan in color. Those are editable cells. The second area is the matrix, and that has information concerning the tracks in the north departure yard, south departure yard, and the local yard. The
user joined your channel. User
third
left your channel.
area is the information blocks concerning the limitations on the subdivisions. And the last area that we're going to talk about is the notes to staff. With that said, let's push on and show you what is now available to you. Within the first area, we have the Barstow Bowl tracks. We have the search for road train ID. We can search for an industry ID. We can search a local train through its ID, and we can also search the Union Pacific and the BNSF station codes. Now that's a lot of data that is available to you, and it does answer a lot of questions that may arise from time to time if you use these blocks correctly. So I'm going to show you the yard. Currently the Barstow Yard is somewhat full. We have just received a call from the humper requesting the trimmer to trim the yard. He's had to stop the hump because track 108 is filled, and as you can see, track 108 there is pretty much full. So we need to pull that track. So we're going to be the trimmer. We've got our trim set, and we're going to go to track 108, and we're going to pull that consist. And the first question that comes up is, holy cow, where are we going to take this thing? So we're going to go back to the spreadsheet, and we're going to type in 108, track 108, which is what we're going to pull, and it says pull track 108 to the south departure yard with these car tags. Now this particular consist, track 108, is been receiving cars that are tagged with LCAL 315, 316, and 313. These are tags that are defined by the hump configuration file for the Barstow hump. Additional information that's presented when you put in a track number is when this consist leaves the Barstow area, it will show you the exit point. In this case, track 108 consists will exit the Barstow Yard to Hut, which is one of 4 exit points for the Barstow Yard. It also recommends a train tag for the engine. In this particular case, though there are many different types of trains, the 3 primary train types are H, M, and L. H being the high priority manifest train, M normal priority, and L is a local train. It's going to recommend a tag based on the destination of these cars. In this case, it's Fresno, and it's going to recommend BAR-FRS -17. The -17 comes from today's date, so this will change every day when you come into the spreadsheet. You can put in H or M, your choice. That explains the train tag. Now, for those of you that are inexperienced, that is a lot of good information, and it's difficult to find out there in the real world. You have to do a lot of research to come up with that data. The next tag is, you may, during the course of your duties in trimming and or just messing around in the Barstow Yard, you want to know where certain tags that you see on cars and or engines, where there's coming from or going to, and their station tags possibly. In the UP, Union Pacific system, they use a standard 2-letter code, and in the BNSF, they use a standard 3-letter code. In this particular block, right now we're showing TU, that's 2 letters, so that's a UP code, and it represents Turlock, California, Tucson, Arizona, or Winfield, Texas. And in the UP system, they have the ability to discern the difference between the 3 destinations, and they do that from the region that this code originates in and or the train that it is placed on. The BNSF system is a little bit different. They use 3 letters, so we'll go ahead and type in TUL. We would expect a return of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and sure enough, there it is. So you can pull up the 2 or 3 letter codes for both of those railroads. The next block is a search a local train ID. In this particular case, we're showing the YVRN 3351 local train. This tag you're going to see quite a bit in the Barstow area, the Barstow Yard, that is. All of these industries are associated with this local train, and there's a host of them here. The BNSF is the serving railroad, and the serving yard is the Los Angeles, California LAJ yard. Now there's an LAC yard. The LAC yard is Hobart, the Hobart Yard, or Hobart Towers, out in LAC. That is an intermodal yard. It is not a freight yard. The freight yard is the LAJ, and the LAJ is split up into 3 different yards: the A, the B, and the C. The C yard is generally referred to as the LAJ Bell, B-E-L-L yard, and that's where this consist would be, or this local train would be sent to be blocked to go to the local industries that it serves. Up here, search for an industry ID. It's displaying PPG. The PPG is the PPG Aerospace industry, and it's served by the Union Pacific, and it operates from the Mojave Yard by the local LOP 53 train. So with that said, we want to see a little bit more information on that. Let's put in the LOP 53 local train, and it shows us all of the industry IDs that the LOP 53 serves out of the Mojave Yard by Union Pacific. And sure enough, there's the PPG industry, PPG Aerospace. So these 5 cells give you the opportunity to pull up a great deal of data and answer a lot of your questions. The second area that we're going to talk about is the matrix what I refer to as the matrix. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this hypothetical. We want to pull track 108 and put it into the yard because the humper has requested us to do so. And we're fairly new to Run8, so we really don't know where to pull 108. With regards to even learning where 108 is located, the far right track is 101, so we always do is count 101 through 115, and there's your 15 tracks in the yard. And this is number 8, 108, starting from the right hand side. So how do we get 108 to a yard? We can read the information up here at the Barstow Bowl tracks. We put that in. It says pull track 108 to south departure yard. Well, we go down here to the south departure yard and we see that one track is open. Track number 4, 5,700 feet long. We have a second method to verify this, and that is by going into the bowl itself, and panning our view around so that we can see the south departure yard and the north departure. This is the south departure and this is the north departure, and sure enough, south departure 4 is open. So we can pull track 108 and place it on south departure 4 as requested. So let's go back. To our spreadsheet. We'll assume that we've pulled track 108 and it is now placed on south departure 4. We can click on our consist in the simulator and pull up the tagger and see a number of pieces of information, one of which is the length of the train. A second way you can find the length of the train is by hitting left shift V as in Victor, and that will show the length of the train as well. In any event, what we're going to do is we want to place that information in south departure 4 matrix on that line. So we're going to select the blue cell, which is editable. By the way, if you try to edit any other cell within the matrix, or for that matter anywhere in the spreadsheet, then I'll try to put the letter A in the destination block, we get a warning indicating that this spreadsheet is protected. And the purpose for that is that only certain cells are editable, the rest of them are uneditable, to prevent you from accidentally changing the formulas that are contained in those cells. So let's go ahead and select that cell for south departure 4. We know that it's going to go to Fresno, so the origin is Barstow, so we're going to put in bar, FRS, enter, and that populates the destination. The only thing left to do is to put in the length. We go to the tagger, or we select shift V, Victor, left shift V, and we see that the consist is 2,500 feet long, we'll say. So we put 2,500 in, and that finishes populating the rest of the line. So what have we got here? We have the name of the train, we have the destination, we have the current length, and in this particular case the track is 5,700 feet long. We have 2,500 feet consumed, 3,200 feet left, and it has an exit point of Hut. It has a graphical image showing you visually about how much is left, and we have a digital indication of exactly how much is left, of 56%. So that helps you as a trimmer, because as a trimmer you're going to possibly come up with another cut off of 108 after the humper pushes more cars into the bowl, and you'll need to figure out, can I put another cut into track south departure 4? And this immediately tells you whether you can or can't. So let's put in some more train there on south departure 4. You've got another cut, and you're going to add to it. We've got 2,500 feet currently on the track. Let's go with another 3,000 feet. We'll add to it because we added another 3,000 foot cut to the track, and sure enough, that takes us up to 3,000 plus 2,500 is 5,500. That takes us up to 5,500 foot total length. Track left is 200, so we've only got 4% left. So that train is pretty much built and it's ready to go out. But let's, for the sake of discussion, say that we had so much consist that we pushed onto the track that we exceeded the 5,700 foot length. Let's say we went 5,750 feet. We immediately get a visual warning. We're 50 feet over the limit as it's shown here in the track left, and we get a red indication on the track used, and we're 101% of the track. So there is a problem, and we're going to have to address that. So that's let's take that back down to 3,000 feet, and it immediately tells us that we got 2,700 foot of track left that we can put in. Anyway, that shows you very nicely and graphically what you have used and what you have left.
User joined your channel.
How do we
Hello.
delete
Hey, Brandon.
this?
There's one track on each
Microphone
track.
sound muted.
How do we delete this information out of our matrix? Well, the two blue areas are the two cells that are editable. Select the train symbol cell, hit your delete button. That takes out the destination as well. Select your length cell, hit the delete button, and that cleans up the rest of it. Now, South Departure 4 is available for new consist to be put in from any of the other 15 tracks in the bowl. Now, up here in North Departure 1 is 8,000 feet long. And for the sake of this discussion, let's say that we put a 4,000 foot train or consist into the track, and sure enough, it's showing that we got 50% of the track left. We've used 50%. That 4,000 is half of 8. No problem there. Let's now go up to 7,550 feet, which is less than 8,000. And sure enough, we get a red block on the length. That's a warning. And then, but the graphical information shows that we've got still 6% of the track left. We've got 450 feet of track left. What's the problem here? In a nutshell, we've exceeded a restriction, and the restriction is located down in this area. The BNSF UP Mojave subdivision has a max train length of 7,500 feet, and this you put in 7,550 feet, and it shows that you've exceeded the restriction. So you need to pay attention to that restriction and either pull some cars off of that track and or find another solution to that particular problem. So we'll take it back down to, let's say, for the sake of discussion, let's say what it would look like if we put 8,100 foot of consist there, and sure enough we would expect it to be 100 foot over, and we've used all of the track, and we've exceeded the track length. It's a problem that we have to address. So let's go ahead and delete that, and it cleans that up. The local yard, we may have, let's see, I think it's 113. Yes, 113 is a track that receives the RCal 41s, the LCal 101s, and the LCal 102s. Those are cars that are slated to go to Victorville. It's a local out of Barstow. So we have a train that is slated to go to Victorville, and it has cars, let's say the LCal 0101. So instead of placing a bar VV, this is the exception to the rule, gentlemen, and whenever you deal with a local train, you want to utilize a car tag. And it doesn't matter what car tag you use, it makes no difference. But let's say we use the LCal 0101, and we'll put that on local 1. And that immediately populates the destination and the exit point. In this case, it's going to go through Linwood, which it would, to go to Victorville. The train length is 2,800 feet. And sure enough, you've got 20% of track left. Now, this particular consist, though it's tagged as LCal 0101, this consist will also have LCal 102s in it, possibly RCal 0041s. So this train needs to be blocked, and it's generally blocked here in the local yard. If you don't have enough room in the local yard to block this train to get to Victorville, then you can pull this train off of local 1 out of the local yard and take it to the old yard of Barstow, where it can be blocked, and then it can be sent to Victorville out of the old yard. So let's go ahead and delete that. That's the only exception, gentlemen. In a local yard, use a car tag as opposed to the road tag. In this case, bar VV would be the road tag, and that's not going to really help. So let's delete that, and we'll delete this. The next area, obviously, I mentioned to you is the restrictions. This is a information that is pulled off of the website, the highballrun8.com website for restrictions, and it's here for your information to use instead of having to leave this screen and go back to the website. The last area I think is important because it's directed to me. I'm the developer of this spreadsheet. If you run into a problem with the results of a database search, or you find that there is a problem within the spreadsheet, or that the information is incorrect, or you have a suggestion for improvement, or for that matter, if you have a criticism, please come down here and make a note to me. And I generally look at this on a daily basis, at least I try, and I will address those issues directly. Now, I will address those issues by either affecting the change that is requested and or dismissing it as not possible. If you leave information as to how I can contact you, then I can personally speak with you, either through email or on TeamSpeak. Anyway, gentlemen, I hope this is helping. This should flatten out the learning curve to Run8 to a greater degree for the newcomers that come into the simulation and attempt to learn how to operate the Barstow Yard. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you.